Welcome back to Healing Trauma from Our Childhood. And in our previous video, we covered the 0 to 3 years. We are now covering 3 to the next stages of development, guided by Erik Erikson's psychosocial theory of human development. If you missed that video, please just find it on this handle, and I hope that it makes sense to you, that it resonates with you a bit. So we are at the stage of early childhood, and this is after that stage we talked about earlier, when the child is now trying to gain some autonomy. I can do this for myself, I can feed myself, I can open a door, I can close a door, and things like that. So at the early childhood stage, which is 3 to 6, if a child doesn't go through trauma, they experience a lot of positive initiative skills, which means that the child is able to begin something. They're able to say, I want to do this. They're able to express themselves. And if they don't, they end up with the reverse, which is guilt. And the child becomes inquisitive at this stage. How does that work? I remember one of my children at that stage went to our microwave then and just turned it around the whole way. And from that time, we've just lived with it like that. But for me, that was a part of her discovering, what's this machine that we put things in and they come out hot, and I think I'm just gonna give it a try myself. And so at this stage, when the child is checking out the ability to make these basic decisions and implement them, if they're not encouraged, if they're not supported, then they may not be able to have meaningful personal relationships with their mind, because it's the mind that tells them, give it a shot. It's their brain that tells them, I think we can do this, let's try, right? So then the child gains a lot of guilt. They feel, I have to judge myself. And that's when in our adult videos we'll talk about the judge saboteurs. And when you live with a judge for a very long time, you are very harsh with yourself. You are very detrimental with the approach of how you manage your own life experiences. And the next stage is 6 to 12. Yay, puberty. And at this stage, a child is going through that thing that I talked about earlier, a transition. It's like a gate where after 12, they are now going into teenagehood, which is a very sensitive time in anyone's life. And Erik Erikson defines this stage for us as guided by industry and inferiority. So if you did not experience trauma, then you're very industrious. You are able to do things, you're able to enjoy what you do. But if you experience trauma at this stage, sadly, you feel very inferior. All right? There's a lady I worked with at some point, and she told me that she had she was hit by a car around the age of, I think, 4 or 5. And that experience, that just not knowing what has really happened, because you're a child at that time, and when you wake up, you're in hospital, and maybe you can't use your senses as you used to previously, and you can tell that something is wrong, and you can tell that you're in hospital and you've never been there before. And what came out after that for her is she was not able to connect socially. She was not able to have any personal, meaningful relationships. She prefers to sit in groups and study people and then just give herself her takeaway and leave. But then now, as you go through into the age of 6 to 12, where you're learning to be industrious, where you want to accomplish a task successfully. And if you're not allowed to attempt tasks, then you feel very inferior, because you immediately learn to disqualify yourself. So if you identify with any of this, that feeling of inferiority, guilt, shame, and you'd like to heal these areas of your life, maybe because someone said something that really cut right through to you. And I think it helps at some point when an adult or a mom has that conversation with someone who did that to them, and you let them know how it's hurting you. You let them know how it's limiting you. And even if it's to let them know and they do nothing about it, you've spoken about it. It's not bottled up inside you. So I hope this has helped you, and we'll be moving right on to adolescence and early adulthood. And thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you for reaching out. I know we are learning a lot, and I hope that somehow you are able to want to open that cupboard, because I can imagine you might be like me, having hidden trauma which stayed within me for 30 years, and I had to confront it at a very, very low time in the world during COVID, when we were not having the physical engagements as we wanted to, social engagements. And that is the time that I found a window to heal myself. So I hope that you resonate with this. Thank you so much. Keep writing, keep sharing your stories with me. I appreciate each one of you moms. All the best. Stay super, stay awesome, and let's make this year that year that everything changes around for us.